you guys. So right now I'm going to do questions on 9.5. So first one up is 9.5, number 11. So it is wanting, if you look at your picture, it's a picture of a slide on a playground. And here's the slide right here. This is the slide. Okay, and it says we want to find the length of the slide. So this is what we're wanting to find is x. And it says round our answer to the nearest whole number. Okay, well, I have this angle here, and I always label your sides first. So my side opposite of this angle is 12. So this is my opposite side. Now my hypotenuse is always across from my 90-degree angle, so x equals h. Now my adjacent side is the side next to my 50-degree angle, so that's my adjacent side. Okay, so now I'm wanting to use something that has opposite and a hypotenuse in it to solve this, because those are the only two places I have something. So we have sine of an angle is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, and cosine of an angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. These are the two we're really focusing on in this section. Okay, so here the one I probably want to use is cosine because it has an O and an H. And here I have an O and an H. So sine of my angle is 53, equals opposite 12 over my hypotenuse, which is x. Now I could put this over 1, and that's okay. It means the same thing. Now I can cross multiply. So I have 12 times 1, which is 12. And then x times sine of 53, which is x sine 53. Now this sine of 53 is just a number. It's like pi, it's a number. Well, it's not exactly like pi, but it's a number. So to get this away from x, they're timesing each other, I gotta divide. So I'm gonna divide this by sine of 53 and divide this by sine of 53. Okay, so now these cancel out, and I am left with x equals 12 over sine of 53. Sine of 53. I put that in my calculator. Every calculator, your phone calculator, I'll show you my phone one. Okay, so my phone one has, I just gotta clear it. Here's my phone calculator. They all have sine and cosine in it. In mine, I have to hit this little button on top. Mine's an Android, so I don't know how your guys' will work. But then there you see sine, cosine, tangent. So we want to use sine on this one. So I'm gonna hit sine, or sorry, first we have 12. Clear this out. We have 12 divided by sine. So it looks like that, sine. Now I'm going to put 53 in here and then close my parentheses. So 53, close my parentheses. That's what you want it to look like. And your answer there is 15.02. But it says round to the nearest whole number, so we just want 15. So x equals 15. And that's your answer. Look at that for a minute. Ask yourself, do I know where each number came from? If not, rewatch this or email me and ask me a question. Okay, so here's number 12 on 9.5. So it wants us to find the horizontal distance the escalator, I can't talk, covers. So this is my x right here, and it gives me this other information. So first thing, always label the sides of your triangle. We need to find opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. So that's what I'm going to do. So my opposite side is this guy over here. That's opposite of my angle. My hypotenuse is always across from my 90 degrees. So here's my hypotenuse. And then my adjacent side is here with x. Okay. So I have an adjacent and a hypotenuse. Remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So I probably want to use cosine because that's the only one that has an adjacent and a hypotenuse. So I'm going to use that. So cosine of my degrees, my angle here is 41, equals adjacent, which is x, over my hypotenuse, which is 26. Now I could put this guy over 1, it doesn't change anything, and I'm going to cross multiply. So here I have x times 1, which is just x, equals 26 times cosine 41. So 26 cosine 41. Okay, now I just have to stick this little part in my calculator right here and you're done. So I'm going to stick that in my calculator. I got 26 cosine 41. I get 19, it says round to the nearest tenth, so x equals 19.6. And then there you go. Well, that's a point there. And you got your answer. Look at that for a minute and ask yourself if you know where everything comes from. Okay, here is 9.5, number 13. Number 13. So on this one, it says there's a plane flying. Here's my plane here. How do you draw the plane? I don't know. There's my plane. There's my plane flying in the air. It wants to pass over this tower that's over here. There's a tower over here. We need to know how high it needs to fly to get over this tower. So we're wanting to find our h. Okay, so let's label all the sides of our triangle first. So here's my degree I'm looking at, my angle I'm looking at. Opposite of my angle is h. And then my hypotenuse is across from my 90 degrees, so this is my hypotenuse. Okay, well, I need to use something that has O and H, my opposite and a hypotenuse. Sine has O and H, so I'm going to use sine. So I have sine, my angle is 1, sine of 1 degree, equals my opposite, which is H, over my hypotenuse, which is 25,000. Okay, now I can put this sine of 1 over 1, means the same thing, and I'm going to cross multiply. Okay, so sine of 1 times, I have h times 1, which is h, and sine of 1 times 25,000, which is 25,000 sine of 1. Now I can just stick this little part in my calculator. I have 25,000 times sine 1. So if you look, this is what I put in my calculator like that. It equals here. We get 436.3. H equals 436.3. Now, if my airplane flies to this height here, it's going to hit the very top of my tower. It has to fly more than that to pass it. So I would round this completely up to 437. 437 feet is how high it needs to fly to actually pass over the tower. So this is your answer for part A. Okay, so now for part B, the problem states that a plane is flying at an altitude of 20,000 feet. So we know that the plane from the ground, here's my plane, it's at 20,000 feet in the air. Okay, and we want to know how high the plane must fly to get over the tower, what altitude, that means how far off the ground. But it also says we have to be, here's my tower here, we have to be at least 1,000 feet above this tower in order to fly over it. We have to be 1,000 feet above anything. So we found the height here using A, we got 437. So if I'm 20,000 feet off the ground already, plus the height of the tower I have to go over, which is 437, plus an additional 1,000, plus 1,000. Okay, now I put this in my calculator and you end up with 21,437. That would be your answer for this last part.